Switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My eyes done seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My eyes done seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Money, money, money. That's all he talks
There's
about.
nothing wrong with being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, but not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth.
Money is the root to all.
No, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil.
I like money. Oh, kid.
Yes, I do think about other things than money. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for my family. Money's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. H Cortez. Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the black community, everybody's favorite followpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Black Wealth Movement Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, if you are still sleeping on the Black Wealth Movement, man, you are missing the opportunity to learn how to build wealth from scratch. That is exactly what we teach in the Black Wealth Movement. What is the Black Wealth Movement? It is a network of men and women committed to bringing financial literacy and economic empowerment to the black community for the purposes of community development and economic empowerment. But we understand that you cannot develop a community without capital. You cannot empower a community without first empowering the people in that community. And all empowerment begins with education, and in this case, a financial education. So we want to empower every black family in America on what capitalism is, how money really works, and we're doing that one family at a time. So if you're interested in learning more about the Black Wealth Movement, you can inbox me or text the keyword phrase Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. And I'd be happy to talk to you about what the Black Wealth Movement is and what the Black Wealth Movement is not. But we teach 5 core pillars of wealth: entrepreneurship, tax minimization, debt elimination, credit education, and asset accumulation. Name me a single wealthy person that is not well versed in those 5 categories, right? So this is what we want to bring to you and to the black community, and will allow you to make a second, third, and fourth stream of income by introducing people to our Black Wealth Movement. So it's also a business opportunity at the same time. So do me a huge favor. If you're checking this out on Periscope, go ahead and swipe left, swipe right. Invite your people to check out the stream on Twitter. You guys who are checking us out on YouTube, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, but also copy the link and share it on your favorite social media timeline, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you like to share links. Share the link to today's show. I'm sure you know some people who are interested in this subject on how to stimulate the black economy, part 1, connecting the dots. And for those of you guys on Facebook, if you have not already shared the show, go ahead and share the stream. Use the thumbs, the hearts, and the likes, and that thing. That's important in the eyes of Facebook. That tells Facebook we have engaging content. And Facebook determines how many people sees your content based on how many people engage with it. So the more engagement we have with the show, the more Facebook will push it out to more and more people, and we can combat some of the ratchetness that's out there with some good quality content that's going to serve us better than World Star, right, and all that other foolishness. So do me a favor, go ahead and share the stream if you haven't already, and then remind me mid-show to ask people to share the stream again, because people come on and off the show all throughout the hour. So I want to make sure that I remember to have folks to share the show in the about the midway point as well. So let's get right down to business today, because today is a serious topic for me. For those who know me, know that my mission in life is to help to improve and empower the black community. I think if the black community gets it right as far as economic empowerment, I think we will make America even better And that's my aim, and I have some simple strategies and philosophies and ideas on how we can get the ball rolling and make that happen. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, how to stimulate the Black economy. This is part one, called Connecting the Dots, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dr. George C. Frazier, but he's famous for this little illustration that he did during, I think it was Tavis Smiley's, when he was promoting his book. No, not Tavis Smiley. I don't know if it was Tavis Smiley's book he was promoting, but he was doing something with a book that he produced about, you know, what we could do in the Black community. And George Frazier held up a piece of paper with a bunch of black dots all over it. And he said, this paper represents Black America in the sense that Black America is dispersed all over the country. And he says there's nothing wrong with dispersion, right? The problem was that we are not only dispersed, but we are also disconnected, right? We are not only dispersed, but we are also disconnected. And then he flipped the paper over and he showed those same groups of dots, and they were all connected. So it looked sort of like a spider web, right? All of those dots were then connected. And basically he was illustrating that our power is in our connectedness. Our power is in the aggregation of our resources, and money being just one of them. So today I'm going to talk about some practical ways on how we can connect those proverbial dots, if you will. And it's very simple. But before we get to the actual connecting the dots strategies, I just want to tell Black people something that we have to get over if we're going to make any headway, man. First and foremost, we have to stop waiting on everybody. That's first, right? We have to stop waiting on everybody. There is so many people, or is it that people just use that as an excuse to not get in the game? Everybody is talking about when Black people unite, it's going to be beautiful. That's what everybody is talking about. Man, if we could all come together. It doesn't take that, folks. It does not take all of Black people coming together to make an impact and to transform our communities. So that's number one. Let's stop waiting for everyone, and let's start with those who are already in motion. So instead of waiting on everybody, we're going to work with those that are already doing the work. Instead of waiting on everybody to come together, how about we just focus on those that are already doing the work? Right? So you've seen the meme that they put out there when they're talking about, you know, Black people and white people running the financial race with other cultures, and they're talking and they show this race is like, hey, it's the same 100 yards, but our 100 yards have all these obstacles in the way. Now, you can, if you choose to, focus on all of those obstacles, right? But that's not going to help you win. What's going to help me win is if I recognize that there are obstacles in my way, and I find the most effective and efficient way to get around, through, over, or under those obstacles on my way to the finish line. Some people will see obstacles in their way, and they let that stop them from going at all. Some people will see obstacles in their way, and they give up right there. No, I can see an obstacle, and that obstacle will serve as two purposes. One of two things when you see an obstacle in your way. It's either can be used as a stepping stone or a stumbling block. I don't see stumbling blocks. I only see stepping stones, meaning when I get to that obstacle, I'm going to conquer it, and I'm going to stand above it, and that's going to increase my perspective, so I can see how to get over the next obstacle. So let's, number one, stop waiting on everybody. It don't take everybody, man. It don't take everybody. It never has, never will. Never has, never will. But the more we keep listening to that, we've got to come together. We've got to unite. And once we unite, that's when things are going to change. No, man. You work with the people who are doing the work, and that small group of people will get everybody else to come on board if they're doing the work, right? So in order for us to connect these proverbial dots, I've got some ideas that we can do. Number 2, Robert, was work with those that are already doing the work. See, what we tend to do is we tend to hang our whole thing up on those who want to do the work. And I see somebody over here and I see somebody over there. This person said he wants to do the work. That person said they want to do the work. So now I'm sitting back. I'm waiting on them to do the work. They want to do the work. They want to do the work. I'm doing the work, but I'm doing the work at a slower pace because I'm waiting on those who say they want to do the work. No, if I'm doing the work, I can't wait on those who want to do the work. I have to go connect with those who are also doing the work. So that's number 2. Work with those that are already doing the work. Let's stop waiting on everybody. Those who are doing the work, let's connect, let's unify with those people, and let's get that thing done. Right? How do we stimulate the black dollar? Number 1, we have to create awareness around those entities that are doing good business, right? So I love all of the Buy Black directories. I know Trevor Otts and Shay over at the Black CEO, they're doing something amazing with an app, which is a directory, and especially those apps and directories that have geo-tracking, meaning as I'm driving through neighborhoods, I will get notification that says, hey, there's a black-owned restaurant over here. Hey, there's a black-owned sporting goods store over here. Hey, there's a black-owned boutique over here. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal, right? Those sorts of things have a place in stimulating the black dollar. But I want to talk to you about 4 concepts that can transform our black community with using what we already have, right? I'm not talking about going to get anything new. I'm talking about using what we already have. I'm talking about leveraging the black dollar that exists. I'm not the one who's going to focus on the 98% that's going out of our community. Yes, out of the 1.6, 1.8, whatever number you want to throw at it, trillion that we spend annually, only 2% of that is spent in the black community. I get that. Our problem traditionally has been that we have focused on the 98% that is going out of the community, and nobody focuses on maximizing the 2% that is. What is 2% of a $1.6 trillion? Do me a favor, Robert. I know you're my numbers guy. What is 2% of $1.6 trillion? See, we like to focus on the negative. We focus on the 98% that's going out of our community, and we keep repeating all of these bogus statistics. I'm going to tell you something, guys. If you haven't realized or heard me talk about my definition of power, is when somebody has power, that means they have the ability to define your existence and have you take on that definition as if it is your own. They define your existence, you take that definition and you own it as if you created it, right? So 32 billion is 2% of 1.6 trillion. So I'm going to focus on maximizing the 32 billion, and I'm going to stop crying over the rest that is leaving our community. It is gone. Stop focusing on that. But if you focus on maximizing the 32, those who are letting some of that money escape will see that, wait a minute, if I spent a little bit more money with the black community and this is all the good that they're doing with the little bit I am spending, then we will start getting more of that 1.6 trillion. So we're going to focus on that. right? How do you do that? Let me do this before I get into to the breakdown. Let me give you my quote of the day. Today's quote of the day says, "Dear entrepreneur, you may begin by yourself, but you won't finish alone. The world is attracted to builders." Dear entrepreneur, you may begin by yourself, but you won't finish alone. The world is attracted to builders. And that's from my man Evan Jefferson over at ERGJ Enterprises. Go to ergj.net to learn more about what Evan has going on. He's just released his book, The Black Billionaires Club, a study of the 12 black billionaires and how they created their wealth. If you want to get yourself a copy of that book, go to www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. And you can pick up a copy of the book there. You can also go to the ERGJ Black Bookstore on Facebook, or just inbox Evan Jefferson, man. Phenomenal financial educator. His tagline is "He fixes broke." Man, I'm telling you, dude is it's the truth, man. And I'm honored and pleased to know another black man committed to bringing financial literacy, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship training, business coaching to our people, because we so desperately need it. www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Dear entrepreneur, you may begin by yourself, but you won't finish alone. The world is attracted to builders. The world is attracted to builders, point blank and period. So how do we stimulate the black economy, right? I have a concept that I've been working on for the longest, and when I saw Dr. Frazier do that illustration with the black dots, I saw then that this concept can work because it could literally help us to start connecting the dots. Remember, we're going to leverage the 2% of money that is already flowing through our communities, through our black-owned businesses, right? How do we leverage that and make it more? Is there a place for a black-owned directory, black business directory? Yes, you can go to a black directory, look up all the black businesses in your area. Is there a place for a black business directory app? Yes, especially those with geo-tracking. When I was in Chicago, I would have loved to have an app on my phone that says, here is where all of the black-owned restaurants are, or here's where all the black-owned entertainment venues are, here's where the black-owned movie theater is in this vicinity, right? That is coming. I know Shay and Trevor Oz, the Black CEO, is working diligently on that. I think that's going to be phenomenal. If you're in New York, Buy Black NYC, my man, Brother Dre, has had that thing has been up for 10, 12 years or something like that. So we have those and they have their place. But I want to take it a step further and put it boots on the ground to take it. Not only do we have to do that digitally, we have to do that literally as well. So I have something called the Blackboard concept, right? The Blackboard concept. And I want you guys to go into your black-owned restaurants, your black-owned dry cleaners, your black-owned mom and pop shops, whatever they may be, and I want you to introduce this to the owners, and let's have this spread. What is the Blackboard concept? The Blackboard concept is simply this. In every black-owned restaurant, in every black-owned establishment, business, or whatever, there needs to be a big blackboard that, and today they don't have to be a blackboard. It could be a digital screen with a scrolling something, right? But when I go into a black-owned establishment, they should have prominently displayed in that establishment all of the other black-owned restaurants within a 5, 10, 15-mile radius. They should have prominently displayed in every black-owned establishment all of the other black-owned establishments within a 5, 10, or 15-mile radius, right? Because again, we're trying to leverage the existing black dollar, the one that's already circulating. We're not talking about the one that's getting away from us. Let's start with where we are. Let's work with those who are working with us. You have an establishment, a restaurant, for instance, and you have black patrons coming into that restaurant. That means either they are conscious or unconscious about spending with the black community. But if they are willing to spend with the black community and you and your establishment, they may also too be willing to spend with another black-owned establishment. Chances are they just don't know where they are, right? So if every black-owned establishment adopted the blackboard concept, where I go into my favorite black-owned restaurant and either an actual blackboard, right, with the names and the addresses of, the 5, 10, 15 black-owned businesses within their radius, then while I go to that black-owned restaurant, it will subconsciously start to sink in every time I'm in that establishment that, hey, there's other black-owned businesses in this area. There's other black-owned businesses in this area. That will start to sink in. So if I go into that restaurant all the time and I'm constantly seeing the names of those other black-owned establishments, over time, that will sink into my subconscious, and every time I'm in that area, I will start thinking about all of the other black-owned establishments in that vicinity. Now, what you're doing is you're taking an existing customer who's already buying black, and you're turning him on to some other establishments where he can continue to buy black within the same vicinity. Why is that important? It's because when we spend money, above all else, we spend it based on convenience. When we spend money, above all other reasons, we spend money based on convenience. That's why malls exist. That's why strip malls exist. That's why everywhere you see a McDonald's, you see a Burger King across the street. Every time you see a Church's Chicken, you see a Lee's Chicken, a Popeye's Chicken, a Kentucky Fried Chicken within a mile radius, right up the block, right across the street, because they're tapping into the convenience of how we like to shop. Hey guys, real quick, I promise I won't take you long to get you back to the show, but I just want you to know that I have a free copy for you of Monetize My Life, my way of saying thank you for supporting me and following this show and all the words of encouragement. So I want to give back to you a free download of Monetize My Life, because my mission in life is to empower people economically through entrepreneurship. So I wrote this little book to help you understand how to take the gifts, talents, and special abilities that God has blessed you with and turn them into profitable enterprises. So go over to financialhealthmentor.com/downloads and you can download this book for free, and hopefully it will help you uncover your passion, which will lead you to your purpose. And where your purpose is, there is your vision and also your provision. So thanks so much for all the support. Now let's get back to the show. So we have to make, like my man ERGJ says all the time, we have to make black economics easy. Group economics easy. So when I go into a black-owned establishment and they prominently display all of the other black-owned establishments within a 10-mile radius, for instance, I know whenever I go into that part of town, there is 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 black-owned businesses right there in the same vicinity. Now I can spend more of my money within that vicinity because it is convenient for me to do so. This is the blackboard concept. I want you to go to, who's committed to talking to their black-owned mom and pop brick and mortar stores. If you know any of the owners in these places, who's willing to go into these places and talk about this blackboard concept? Is anybody willing to go talk to a black-owned business owner today and say, you know what? I learned about this concept that can help us aggregate more of the black dollar if you put up a blackboard of some sort of listing of all the other black-owned businesses in your vicinity. This is how we start to aggregate the black dollar. Now, you have black customers, or not even black customers, you have customers that are willing to spend with the black community. You show them other ways that they can spend more of their money with the black community by listing out those entities within the same vicinity. Now, when I go to a certain part of town to spend money, I know for a fact that there is 6 other black-owned businesses in this vicinity. And what black people don't get is they're so caught up in competition versus collaboration. Is the reason McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's will all be across the street and don't mind being in that same vicinity, because that is a vicinity that says people like buying hamburgers here. So I need to be where people like buying hamburgers. It don't matter whether they buy a Big Mac, a double stack, or a Whopper. They like buying hamburgers in this area. So I'm going to pitch my tent where people like buying hamburgers. And what if these black-owned businesses start to understand what they will see is we're all getting more traffic because it's convenient for people to come and shop here. Yes, they came here specifically to go to Drake's Place, one of my favorite black-owned restaurants, right? But if I knew that around the corner from Drake's Place was a black-owned dry cleaners, I would go to Drake's Place and then take my clothes with me and drop them off at the dry cleaners. Because now it's convenient for me to shop black. Right up the street from Drake's Place is a black-owned a crafts boutique, right? So if I needed to go get some supplies, some craft supplies, I would go to Drake's Place to get me something to eat, stop at the Craft Supply Network, and bam, now more of us are starting to flood into that community. See, the problem with what we have today is this black-owned establishment does not want to be anywhere near another black-owned establishment. That's why they're all struggling. But you go to a strip mall in any other culture, and all of their businesses are lined up, side by side. You go into certain communities, and you see 4, 5, 6 Asian-owned restaurants and shops right across the street, one from another. Because they know this is where people spend money with Asian people. I want to get some of that money too. Now, that's the black board concept, right? Let's take it to another level. What is the one thing that black people don't really have money for in order to grow and build their businesses? They don't have money for advertising. So now let's talk about the black bag concept. See, that's the black board concept. When I go into the black board, the black restaurant, I see a black board with all of the other black-owned establishments within a 10-mile radius, 15-mile radius, whatever it's going to be. Right? How do we take that and move it into the streets? We take it and move it into the streets through the black bag concept. What is the black bag concept? What if every black-owned restaurant, what if every black-owned establishment you went into, when you bought your products and services, they put your products and services in a black bag that had the logos and the addresses of all of the other black-owned restaurants within their vicinity? What if, whenever you spent money with a black-owned establishment, they put your wares, your goods, whatever you bought, in a black bag, and on the outside of that black bag is all the logos and addresses of all of the other black-owned establishments within a 10-mile radius of them? Now the black board concept just left the store. The black board concept just left the store. And all of those black-owned restaurants are using the same black bag to give out their goods in. Now, all over town, you have these black bags with all of this advertisement for these black-owned establishments. And if they're doing this collectively and they're going to the black-owned print shop to have these black bags printed and produced, those black bags will cost next to nothing. But the impact that those black bags will have, the impact is bananas. So now the blackboard concept just left the store and has infiltrated the streets. And everywhere you look, and on somebody's kitchen table and somebody's garbage can, you see these black bags with all of these logos and addresses of black-owned establishments. That's an effective, a cost-effective and effective and efficient way to market for a small black-owned business that does not have the capital to have a bunch of commercials and radio spots and radio ads and all that kind of stuff. You get pennies on a dollar for you to advertise that way, and the effect would be tremendous. We're talking about stimulating the black economy by connecting the dots. If I but knew there were other black-owned restaurants in the same vicinity for the few that I like to go shop at, I would probably spend a few more of my dollars in those black-owned establishments. It's a black bag concept, right? And then you take the same black bag concept and you turn it into the black website concept or the black social media concept. Every black-owned establishment with their own website should have a link to a black-owned directory right there on their website. And that directory should highlight the 10, 12, 15 black-owned establishments within a 10 or 15 mile radius of them. So now, when you go to my website, you not only learn about my products and services, but I'm giving a shout out to the 10 closest black-owned establishments in my vicinity as well. But those other 10 owned businesses are doing the same thing. A link to my website is on their site as well. This is how you start to build black business districts. Because until we have a black business district, we will never have more than 2% of the black dollar. Come on, let's be real, y'all. How many of you will consistently, I do it from time to time, but when I'm running errands and I got money to spend and I'm trying to get things accomplished, it becomes challenging for me to drive on one side of town to find a black grocery store, do my business, get me some fruits and produce from a black grocery store, then go find the black auto mechanic, sometimes all the way on the other side of town, right? Then go find the black dry cleaners who may be in another part of town. When we create black business districts, we will start getting more of the black dollar. The reason other cultures are getting a lot of our black dollar, yes, because some of us just not conscious of the power of the black dollar. But a lot of times it's a mere convenience. I've got one black-owned restaurant near where I stay that I know of. Maybe there's more. Maybe if they had the blackboard concept going on when I go into that one, I'll say, oh, I didn't know there was 2 others up the street. I'm going to try this one tomorrow, and I'm going to try this one on Friday. Right? So this is how you stimulate the black economy. Now, we go from the black website concept to the black media concept. See, what if instead of a commercial being about a single business, what if 10 businesses came together and they all pitched in $100 to run these ad spots, And in a 30 to 60-second commercial, it says, "Hi, I'm H Cortez, founder of Financial Health Mentor LLC, but I want you to meet my friends." And then it just transitions to another black-owned entity that introduces himself, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. And as every person comes on and introduces himself, their website and address scrolls across the screen or pops on the screen. So we all chipped in a few dollars to get that spot produced, and we all own that spot. Now we all chip in together and pay what it costs to have that spot aired. We all chip in together to have that spot aired. Now it's not a single commercial for a single black-owned restaurant. People watching at home are starting to say, wait a minute. In 60 seconds, I just learned about 40 black-owned businesses that I had no clue were in my community. Right? That's the power of coming together and connecting the dots. Again, we're not doing this with any and everybody. You will have some black-owned businesses that will say, I don't want no part of that. And that's cool. Go back to number 2, is we're going to work with those that are already doing the work. If you're doing the work and you're trying to shout out and you're trying to collaborate and you're trying to connect with other black-owned business because you understand the power in that, then we're going to work with you and create the black-owned business, the Blackboard, the Black Business Black Bag, the Black Business Black Website, the Black Business Black Media campaigns. We're going to start doing this together. But it don't take everybody. Work with those who are already doing the work. Point blank and period. You don't need everybody. But those who say, you know what? I like that concept. I love the fact that when I leave here, I can go across the street to another black-owned restaurant and get me a meal because they serve some things that I don't serve in my black-owned restaurant. I love the idea that, hey, the other thing that this will do is it will get the black business owners together. It will get them together, right? How many black chamber of commerces do we have? Not many, right? But those business owners who are working the black business board, the Blackboard concept, they will go and have a conversation with the other business owners. Say, hey, are you participating in the Blackboard concept? Yeah. What is that? Well, that is where I have in my store a list of all the black-owned businesses in the network. I want to list your business, and you do the same. You create a Blackboard in your network, and then you list that on your Blackboard, on your menus. On the back, you should have a little Blackboard on your menus that lists the names and addresses of all the black-owned businesses in the vicinity. So everywhere people turn in your store while they're enjoying your business and your products and services, they should also be reminded that, hey, there is an equally great product or service or business right up the street, right? She says, I came in late, but please contact me to see where I can fit in from an SEO standpoint. Yeah, those are some things that you can do from an online presence, but we're talking strictly offline. We're talking about those mom and pop stores that are getting a little bit of traffic on their own, but we're talking about how they can grow that traffic and aggregate more of the black dollar, because those who are already spending black, they want to spend more of their money black, but they want to do it conveniently. And you can do that by the Blackboard concept, right? Think about the business from the black bag concept. You say you got 15 stores that are participating in the black bag concept, and they're going to a black printing company to get the bags printed and manufactured. If 15 stores are getting all of their bag needs done at this one black printing company, how you understand the power that they are using to keep that business afloat. He understands the power in having that sort of business, so he's giving them the best price he possibly can and still be able to make a profit. And then as other black-owned businesses start to pop up, what do you think those in the black-owned business network are going to do when somebody has printing needs? They're going to direct everybody to the black-owned print shop. When everybody needs flyers and menus and stuff reprinted every so often, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to the black-owned print shop, who's already doing the black bags with all of their logos on it. Yeah, this is what we're talking about, man. We can stimulate the black economy and use the black dollar that we already have. If we just focus on the black dollar that we're getting and stop crying about the black dollar that we're not getting, we can move this thing along. How about getting black reusable bags that people can bring in and get a discount? This is why I'm having this conversation. That's awesome, James. That's awesome. So James says, what if those people, we created the bags that were in some sort of reusable fashion? Or even if they weren't reusable, just give people a 5% discount if you just bring the black bag back and we recycle it. Right? That's showing that our marketing is working. Yes. If you're new to the show, please share the show on your timeline and do the hearts and the thumbs up and all that stuff. So that's an excellent concept, James. And that's why we need to have this conversation more often, because more and more comes out of it. So when the black bags start leaving the store, everybody in the network says, hey, anybody bring one of these bags back to the store, you're going to give them a 5% discount. So you can take that black bag to any one of those stores whose logo is on that bag, go and make a purchase and get a 5% discount. That's freaking awesome, James. Thank you for that. But this is what we can do. Let's not look at the 98% that's getting away from us. Let's look at the 2% that is. That means there are black people consciously spending money with black-owned establishments. How do we continue to make sure that we keep that and then maybe potentially grow it? Right? So we talked about when we started the show that we need to stop waiting on everyone. And if you're new and you just came on, please share this out to your timeline. We talked about we're no longer going to wait for the entirety of the 43, 46 million black people to come together before we start transforming our communities. Because if we keep waiting for that before we make a move, we'll never make any moves. What we're going to shift our focus to is to working with those who are working with us. Working with those who are already doing the work. And when we do that, now we can better leverage the $36 billion that is spent with black businesses. Right? Today's show is connecting the dots. Tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about creating employment opportunities via the Lazy Susan. Right? I'm going to talk about the Lazy Susan concept. Right? Everybody's been to a restaurant and they have a Lazy Susan at the table. We're going to talk about that concept and how we can create jobs through the Lazy Susan concept. Right? So we're going to leverage the existing customer base that already exists. There's a lot of conscious people that will spend more of their money with the black community if we made it a little bit more convenient for them to do so. If we made it a little bit more convenient for them to do so. People have lives. They're running all around with their families, with their kids and all of that stuff. And now you tell them that, hey, yes, there's only, I don't even know, there's only a couple black-owned gas stations in all of St. Louis. Did y'all hear that? There's only a couple black-owned gas stations in all of St. Louis. And yes, when you're on that side of town, you should hit that black-owned gas station up every time. But to ask somebody to consciously, all the time, make sure that they drive 30 minutes to the black-owned gas station to get their gas, it's not going to be convenient. Yes, I can consciously do that, but as I'm ripping and running and I see that I'm almost out of gas, I don't have the gas to get all the way over there to the black-owned gas station. So I'm going to have to stop somewhere and get a few dollars and then drive over, right? So we need to be focusing on making it more convenient for the handful of black people that are consciously trying to spend money with us. Let's make it more convenient and we can maximize more of that dollar. We no longer are complaining about the 98% that's leaving the community. Let's be solutions oriented and say, how can we make the 36% go a lot further? How can we make get more of those people to spend more money while they are in our shops, in our stores, in our communities? That's what the focus has to be. That's what the focus has to be. So just to recap, we talked about leveraging the existing black dollar, which is about $36 to $40 billion per year. We're just going to leverage that, right? Get more of that circulating, keep it in the community a little bit longer, right? On Thursday, we're going to talk about ownership and how to recycle that business to business, right? But right now we're talking about making sure that we hold on to our little bit of market share that we have and using that and leveraging that to the best of our ability, leveraging our marketing dollars to get more bang for our buck with the black bag concept, leveraging everything that we are and everything that we could do to make it more convenient for people to spend more of their money with us. So the blackboard concept is simply this. It could be a blackboard, an actual blackboard that you put right on with some red, some red and green chalk. Here are all of the black-owned businesses within a 10-mile radius. It could be an LCD screen or monitor that scrolls, that plays a slide share, right? And that slide just shows a different black-owned business and their logo and their address just over and over, and it's on a loop. So as people are sitting down in your restaurant, as people are coming to pick up their products and services from you, they see this big monitor hanging up and they just keep seeing these different businesses being advertised. And they say, what's that? Oh, that's my blackboard. Those are all the other black-owned businesses within a 10-mile radius. You ought to go check some of them out. Here is a blackboard a card or pamphlet that you can take with you that lists their businesses and what their services are and some of their prices. Take this with you inside your black bag, right? Because that's next, the black bag concept. Everybody that leaves the store gets a black bag. The black bag has all of the logos of those same stores and their address and website that was on the blackboard. So now the blackboard just walked out of the store 200, 300, 400 times a day, however much customer traffic you have. And now it's spilling into the community, and the consciousness of people who are not really conscious about spending black are starting to see that, wait a minute, there are some opportunities here for me to connect with my black-owned businesses. Right? Yes, we have the directories. Yes, we have the black business apps and things of that nature. But in the actual store where money is actually changing hands, there should be something that says, hey, did you know right up the street there's another black-owned restaurant? Hey, did you know across the street and down about a block there is a black-owned flower shop? Did you know that across the street and up around the corner, right there on the corner, there's a black-owned coffee shop with free Wi-Fi? Better coffee than some of the national brands? We have to do that one for another, right? Then the black-owned website concept. What other black-owned businesses are you connected to? Put that on your website. The black-owned social media. What other black-owned businesses are you connected to? Put that on your social media page. Every Black-owned entrepreneur should have a Meet My Friends page where it highlights your top 10 friends that are in business as well, with the name of their business, their website, and their logo, so people can start to see other businesses that are run by us. And then last but not least, the Black media concept, where Black-owned restaurants, Black-owned establishments get together and they create media campaigns together that highlights all of their businesses. And what happens is when we start focusing on that 36 billion and keep that circulating, then we start to create jobs, right? So we'll talk more about creating jobs via the Lazy Susan in tomorrow's episode. Again, this is a 3-part series on how to stimulate the Black economy. Who else says that they are ready to go talk to some Black-owned store owners, shop owners, entrepreneurs about this concept and see if this is something they're willing to do? Anybody else? I know somebody said they're willing. I think Sandra said she's willing. Anybody else willing and committed to go introduce this concept to a Black-owned mom and pop store? And say, hey, you know what? Would be a good idea for your store. It's an act of faith. I know that you may think that you're running traffic away from your own store, but no, when you guys start doing this collectively, then you just show you how this works, show you the law of reciprocity, right? It's 10 of you guys together. So in your Blackboard, you have 9 other establishments listed on your Blackboard. And you're saying that, hey, I might be giving some business to some of these establishments. But guess what? In 9 other establishments, the name of your company is listed on their Blackboard. So whatever business that you may have given them, they may be giving you some back as well. It's not hard, y'all. We can stimulate our own economy, get more of our own dollars circulating if we create the convenience of Black people being able to practice group economics, right? So tomorrow we're talking about creating jobs using the Lazy Susan concept, and then on Thursday we will talk about stimulating the Black community via ownership and business-to-business relationships and strategic partnerships. So any questions on this before we wrap up today's show, man? This is one of my favorite topics. I love talking about wealth in general, but I really love talking about how we as Black people can go a lot further than what we've been going, because I think our focus has been misguided. And the reason they keep really throwing those negative statistics in our face is because they want us to focus there. And will you get what you focus on? So when you are only focused on the money that is not circulating in our community versus the money that is, then you will continue to push money away from your community. But if you focus on the money that is circulating in your community, you'll get more of it to circulate in the community. And that's what I want us to transition. I want us to go away from just focusing on that stuff. Should we begin to adopt this Blackboard concept online? Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm changing up my website now. I'm changing up my social media page, my fan page. My fan page just blew up over the last few days with a viral video that I put out there, and I went from 14,000 fans to over 28,000 fans. So yes, I'm going to do a Meet My Friends page, where I'm going to list out all of the financial educators. I'm going to list out all of the businesses that I do business with digitally and virtually. And then, yes, I'm going to connect to the SEL Black Biz, which is a Black business directory here in the St. Louis area. But yes, we certainly should adopt this concept online. The same concept, man, so that when somebody comes to your website, they see that you are about nation building, not just about building your own brand. Because that's what that really says to me. Well, if I go into a restaurant and I see on their Blackboard they have 10 other black businesses listed, and 3 of them are restaurants who they're in competition with, quote unquote, that would be the thing. What's the logic behind keeping black money in the black neighborhood? Wow. The logic behind keeping black money in the black neighborhood is so that we can provide black jobs in the black neighborhood, so we can cut into this 50% unemployment rate by black men, and almost 70% unemployment rate from our black youths, and that's going to cut down on a lot of other stuff. So we have to keep our money in the black community so that we can rebuild the black community. And if we continue to spend money outside of our community, then we will always have to go outside of our community for employment, right? So we keep the money in the black community so that we can then provide jobs for our own. Neighborhood jobs are usually shitty retail jobs, right? No. Neighborhood jobs are jobs for whatever is created in the neighborhood, right? Industry is industrial areas, right? No. So you can have a retail job, you can have a restaurant job. Somebody could put a tech company in the community if we're circulating our own money in the community, and there could be a tech job right there in the black community. So it just depends on what it is that we're doing and what it is that we want. So we can definitely make these changes and these strides, but we have to start with producing for ourselves. So what's the video that went viral? That Jay-Z video that had him talking behind the scenes about the 444 album. That video went viral, man, and it blew my page up. So you rather have someone work as a dishwasher in a black neighborhood rather than a productive job? Yeah, because what you're missing is that dishwasher is going from no job at all. The dishwasher is probably on government assistance. So yes, I want them to go from having no job at all to a dishwasher if that's the only work they can get. Right? Yeah, I have a troll. They do that on Periscope, and that's new for me because I'm new to Periscope. So, but yeah, and he said that doesn't make sense. And for a lot of people, it doesn't, because they don't understand our struggle, right? So we have to position ourselves to produce for ourselves. So that's it for today's show. We're talking about how to stimulate the black economy so that we can take and build in and for ourselves. Tomorrow's show is going to be about how to create jobs in the black community based on stimulating the black community. I think you guys are going to get a real kick out of how I use the Lazy Susan concept to help show you or to illustrate how that's going to work. And then Thursday, we're going to talk about stimulating the black community via ownership. So yes, this is a 3-part series, right? This is a 3-part series. I don't know, Sandra. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, if you have not checked out the Black Wealth Movement, go to www.blackwealthmovement2017.com. If you have any questions about the Black Wealth Movement, then simply text me 314-874-6887, or you can inbox me and I'll tell you all about the Black Wealth Movement as well. Many times those are family jobs. Dishwasher equals 15-year-old son. Yeah, exactly. And that keeps the family business going, right? Because you don't have to hire outside. So yeah, some people don't get it, but we understand. But that doesn't deter us from the mission. So stay tuned the next 2 days, man. We're going to continue to talk about this topic, stimulating the black economy and taking it to another level so that we can provide more jobs and build more in our own community. So I'm your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the black community. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.